I mean, I'm all for world peace, however far away that may be. Um, Whenever this topic is discussed, it always makes me think of the John Lennon song Imagine. And just like the words of that song are so true. If you could just like imagine all the people living life in peace, why can't the world be like that? Why can't everyone just be okay with everyone else and worry about themselves and not making other people feel bad? I mean, I believe that we've come a very long way from all the hatred and segregation that this country and other countries have seen in the past couple 100 years. But we still have so much further to go. I mean, this world seems a lot more unsafe than the world of 50 years ago. I mean, kids can't even play outside without someone abducting one of them, or just there's so many horrible things in the world. And I mean, I want them all to go away, but it's going to take a lot more than just talking about it. Slavery was a big issue, and then the segregation that happened after Lincoln signed all the documents to free the slaves, there was still all those issues, and then all the freedom marches, and then we finally moved past that. But there are still people who are enslaved in this country and other countries. People abducted and taken and forced into slavery. I mean, personally, I just know a lot of the women aspect of it, that there are a lot of women just taken and made into slaves because we're seen as a weaker sex. So it's easier to abduct a girl than it is a boy or something like that. Or even taken and just taken to be a sex slave even. It's so horrible, and it makes me so angry whenever I hear about it. And I don't think our society will truly be free America until absolutely everybody is free. And it's not even slavery. It's people in bad relationships letting themselves be pushed around by people who think they're superior to them. It's little kids being taught hatred from their parents towards a race or a religion of another kind. And unless people find their compassion and are able to get past all of their preconceived notions of everybody and learn to just be okay with other people, we're all going to be slaves to a society that can't see past its own nose.
Yeah, this is true, especially in America, because, I mean, again, even we are, as compared to some other countries, I mean, again, we have called ourselves, like I remember when the immigration started happening a lot to America in the 1800s, America was called the Great Melting Pot. Well, at this point, I mean, sure, everything's in one pot, but we're not all together. We're still all separated. I mean, you don't believe me, then why are there certain sections in even like New York City that are, Little
Italy.
Yeah, Little Italy, Chinatown. I mean, if we were like really a melting pot, then you would find like Italian restaurants on opposite sides of the island, Chinese shops all over the island. I mean, just everything like that, and all over America. I mean, we have like certain areas where even people are segregated to just by like the area they live in. Like, for instance, people from Iowa are stereotyped as farmers. People from Wisconsin are like called the cheeseheads. I think that's right. Wisconsin?
They're proud of that, though.
They're proud of that. Okay, that's true. They are proud of that. People from California are generally thought to be like stuck-up people. Or hippies, yes.
Or gay.
Yeah, or gay.
That's another thing in this country. I mean, gay marriage is allowed in some states, but not others. I mean, I thought we were a tolerant nation. Just because, say, someone wants to be with someone of the same sex, why is that your business? That's their business.
It's like my aunt told me. The only difference between a straight man and a gay man is what they do behind closed doors. That's the only difference. And in a way, America, we're not so much acting in accordance to King's dream of equality. We're acting more in Malcolm X's dream, separate but equal. What do you think about that, Benjamin?
You can't be equal if you're separate. That was proven long ago. Because if we're separate, then we look at each other as separate. We don't look at each other as equal. I can't look at another white person equal if we're both separate from each other. I can't look at another female separate. I can't look at another female equal if we're separate from each other. The same goes for me and a mentally retarded person, me and a gay person, me and an overweight person, Now, I will say this because it's been brought up a lot in this show, me personally, because of my beliefs and everything that I know, I'm not in favor of homosexuality. I think it's wrong, but one thing that I hate is that we hate other people for it. I'm not in favor of it, but I'm not going to look at someone else differently or cross-eyed just because they're gay. I have a lot of friends who are gay. I don't judge them. I don't hate them for it. To me, they're just another person. I just look at another person. I'm not looking at a gay person. I see that person and their character, whatever that may be, whatever he or she may be. Obesity, I'm not encouraging folks to go out and gorge themselves with food until they get hypertension or diabetes or until they die from obesity. But why do we look at them as when did we come up with the phrase that if you're fat, then you're not beautiful? Why is fat such an ugly thing? Why do guys turn away from fat women? Stuff like that, it just really, really cringes me. It's just upsetting that we think we can live in a world where we are separate but equal.
Separate but equal is not even... It's an invalid statement. I mean, look at Brown versus the Board of Education. Look at all those trials from that era, and separate's not equal. There's no way separate's equal. I mean, they tried to pass off separate as equal, but if you looked at the two different schools, are you kidding me? They were completely different. One was very nice, and one was a piece of crap. And we're supposed to believe that was equal? Yeah, right. I mean, also... Benjamin, I understand that you don't agree with homosexuality. It's just not your thing. But you accept it. Why can't everybody else accept it? I'm not going to go around, doing math. I'm not a math person, but I don't segregate against people who are math majors. It's the same thing, just different extremes. People just need to be like, okay, you do your thing, I do mine. We'll be cool. There's absolutely nothing in the world that is that. The only thing I can think of, I wouldn't be like all that buddy with someone who murdered someone else. That's not really cool, but just why can't people just live their lives and let other people live theirs?
I'd have to agree with that. Honestly, the best statement I can really think of that is just about the whole separation and equality thing, like separate but equal. The last line of our Pledge of Allegiance that we are taught to say every day is liberty and justice for all. And let me tell you something. I remember seeing on the news, there was an 8-year-old, get you, who refused to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and he was sent to the principal's office because he wouldn't stand up. And when asked why he didn't stand up, he said on national television that America does not give liberty and justice to all. And so until that happens, he will not stand up for the pledge. And this is an 8-year-old, and yet people who are twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times his age don't understand this.
And that goes along with the national anthem. The last line of the national anthem is, "The land of the free and the home of the brave." Well, people who hate are making it not the land of the free, and people who hate are also not brave. So, people aren't living up to their own standards.
We've talked about a lot in this episode, and I hope you guys, I hope that you all were listening and paying attention and that you got something from this episode. In honor of Dr. King, you know, Dr. King holiday comes around and we usually celebrate it by sleeping because we don't have school or work, by watching television, the TV marathons, and just by relaxing. But I would challenge you all, I dare you all to spend this day in remembrance of everything that he stood for and in reflect of all that he said. A lot was said in this episode. A lot was expressed in this episode. And the main thing that I want you all to get from this, the very thing I want you all to get from this, is until we begin to love everyone, none of us will be free. I don't know about you all, but I am tired of waiting for this country to make good on a promise that was made over 200 years ago. Now, again, I stress, I give you all the example that I'm not cool with homosexuality, and I don't like seeing people die of obesity. But you know, think about God. Just think about God for a sec. He hates sin, yet he loves us who are sinners. He hates homosexuality, yet he can love a homosexual. He hates thievery, yet he can love a robber. He hates lying, yet he can love a liar. So if our Creator can do that, then why can't we? What are we waiting for? We've got to start somewhere, and we've got to start now. Before we end out this episode, I want to read you all a little poem that I wrote a while ago entitled The Declaration of Independence. It goes something like this.